It's really an honor to be here today. I want to thank the Legal Services of New Jersey for putting together such an important program and for inviting me to be a part of it. It's truly an honor for me to be here and to participate in today's program, and to be here with the distinguished guests as well as the Reunification Day heroes and so many people, good people, who are committed to our families and the work we do every day, mostly quietly, in the Children in Court docket. I'd also like to offer my sincere congratulations to the Reunification heroes and all the families that have been reunified, and to thank those families for what they stand for. Today is special in many, many ways. It gives us an opportunity to discuss a very important goal and objective of the child welfare system. Whenever possible and wherever appropriate, we work toward reunification. Second, today gives us a chance to honor those parents that have faced the unimaginable and the unfathomable, the removal of their children, and those who have been successful in reunifying themselves with their children. We celebrate your hard work and accomplishments. You are truly role models and heroes. And today gives us a chance to honor all those involved in the child welfare system who are so dedicated and committed to achieving the best outcomes for our children, and who work with parents to make sure they get the help they need for reunification. Of course, I'm referring to division caseworkers, CASA volunteers, attorneys who represent the division, the parents, the children, all those who work to stabilize the children, mentors, CMOs, psychologists, treatment providers, extended family members, etc., and etc. As a presiding judge in a rather large vicinage, I am very fortunate that I get to get involved in a lot of the different family cases. There's a lot of different docket types under the family umbrella. Every case in family is very, very important. But when I can, I choose to spend the majority of my time in the Children in Court docket. For me, it's a pretty clear choice. The ability to help people who are in crisis or facing extremely difficult situations, to help them with positive outcomes, is truly unparalleled. Statewide, we recognize this docket, the Children in Court docket, as a priority docket. And those who are in positions of judicial leadership will tell you that that docket, the Children in Court docket, is perhaps the most important docket in our entire judicial system. Now, before becoming a judge, I was a commercial litigation attorney, basically a business lawyer. My work, if I were to try to sum it up in a sentence or two, was who did what to whom and who's going to pay for it. My then assignment judge upon my appointment told me I was going to go to the family part, and because of some trial experience, I was being assigned to a Children in Court docket. I never heard of Children in Court docket. I figured it was juvenile court, Children Court juveniles. Little did I know, I was about to embark on a professional journey that was truly unimaginable. The feelings I get almost daily from working with children and parents is invigorating and simply inspiring. Brianna and I were talking a few minutes ago about who inspires who more. And I told her that by far she inspires me much more than I can inspire her. At the end of the day, those of us who work in the child welfare system get to help people. We get to help families stabilize, and when there's a reunification, well, it doesn't get any better than that. We must always remind parents upon removal of their children that the goal is reunification. That happens to be the law. Parents need to know right up front that the goal of the court following a removal is not to punish the parent or to keep them from their children. In fact, they are being punished enough by not being able to be with their children. Rather, the goal is to reunify them. It's important that we all show respect and dignity to parents who are experiencing indescribable pain. We must be patient and empathetic. I explained that our court is perhaps like no other court. During the protective portions of the litigation following the removal, we are there to ensure the state of New Jersey. Now, the state of New Jersey, that's a pretty big and powerful entity with lots of resources. We're there to make sure that powerful entity helps the family with specific targeted efforts and resources geared toward addressing the issues at hand, whether it's through substance abuse treatment, individual counseling, therapy, parenting skills, the assistance of a home health aide or parent aide, transportation assistance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I particularly appreciated some of the comments Jay made in the beginning about making parents feel that they're parents and making them feel comfortable. Recently, I had a psychologist from Montclair State University visit my courtroom for observation purposes. He has a lot of terrific ideas, and he and I are working on different programming to enhance outcomes, etc. He helps me with our judges when we have to interview children, for instance, to make sure we do it right. So he's become a good friend, and he comes in and he observes, and we talk. On the day, one particular day of his visit, I had parents in court, as well as the child, who was maybe 6 years old. The child was in placement. The child was not living with the parents. The child sat next to the guardian, the law guardian, at a different table than the parents. The parents sat with their respective attorneys. The child sat with the law guardian. It's two tables usually in the courtroom, and the DAG is at that same table with the law guardian and the child. So my first observation was that's not very conducive, doesn't mean not really send the right message. We're collaborative, we're trying to work together, but there's two things that occurred during that hearing that I'd just like to relate to you, because I believe it is all about respect and dignity. The child had crayons. I can't remember if we gave him the crayons or he brought crayons, and he was kind of drawing a picture, looking up, listening, drawing a picture during the proceeding. And as we were nearing the conclusion of the proceeding, he wanted to show it to me and said that I could have the picture. So as the officer was getting the picture from the child and about to bring it to me, I told him first, show it to the parents. Let the parents see what their child had drawn. And then at the end of the proceeding, I asked the child a question along the lines of, is there anything else he wanted to ask me? And perhaps typical of a 5 or 6 year old, he asked if we had any candy. Now, we do. My secretary keeps some candy in a dish by her desk. But I first turned to the parents, and I asked them if it'd be okay if their son had a piece of candy. Mind you, the child was in placement. As noted by the psychologist that was with me that day, this is the respect that we must show all parents as they work through significant issues and not lose sight that they are the child's parents. By showing respect and demonstrating encouragement and being candid, we are giving parents, in my opinion, the needed support that they need as they work through their issues. I also explained to parents the fact that they may need help often is not the problem. I tell them frankly, I suspect a lot of us need some help. The bigger problem is refusing to accept that help. We must remove the stigma of needing help. I often think about celebrities or athletes that we hear about in the news with substance abuse issues and their continual struggles. Those individuals that we hear about have significant assets, significant supports and resources, and yet they cannot maintain sobriety. How difficult it must be for the rest of us who don't have all those resources. So I explained to parents that we must stay engaged with each other, we must work with each other, we must work with the division, and to make sure that they communicate any problems they have with their lawyer so they can get to me. I certainly don't want parents getting frustrated and turning away. And we have that discussion right up front. I've also had the honor of serving as a family drug court judge. And there we worked with parents weekly to curb addiction and to treat underlying and often unresolved trauma or emotional issues. With support and understanding, we achieved many reunifications, each one so special and demonstrates that it can be done. I'd also like to spend a few moments to follow on some of the introductory comments, because I think it's important to know that New Jersey is at the forefront of many initiatives in child welfare. First, fortunately, our court system is unified, and what that means is that we use the same processes, whether the case is in Trenton, Burlington, or Bergen County. Certainly the physical venue where the case is should not be determinative of the procedures or the policies. You'd be surprised across our country how many counties have their own procedures and are not part of a statewide system. We have the administrative office of the court who's showing their support by being here today that can develop and implement statewide policies that work. So we make sure at all corners of our state we're all following the same procedures. In New Jersey, we are committed to frequently training our judges. We often send judges to trainings such as attendance at the Child Abuse and Neglect Institute in Nevada. I went to that training, and There were panels where you'd hear from children as to what worked and didn't work, and you'd hear from parents as to what worked and what didn't work, and you meet judges from other parts of the country as to how things are handled. And of course, I keep this to myself. I come back feeling so proud of the way we do things in New Jersey. It's invigorating. You don't have to really necessarily put down the other states for what they're doing, but you just realize that we spend a lot of time, a lot of resources, and as I indicated, it is a priority docket. We also have continual mandatory training of CIC judges in New Jersey. In April, we offer mandatory training for CIC judges statewide. And every November, the judges gather for what we call Judicial College. That's the couple days that lead into Thanksgiving. And there are always a plethora of CIC courses offered for judges on topics that come up in the courtroom, so we can take the benefit, have the benefit of sharing ideas across counties. We're also very active with the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. Every family part judge, and there may be about 130 or 140 of us in New Jersey, is a member of that national organization. The state pays for all of us to be part of that national organization, so we have access to its research, and we have access to its educational materials. In Essex County, where I come from, we're very concerned with children who are soon to be aging out of the system and who have not yet found a forever home. These children need to be prepared to live independently. It's our future. We have a Judge Kavanaugh, who manages those cases, approximately 80 or so cases, to ensure that those adults, young adults, are receiving the necessary services to help them prepare to live independently. In addition, in Essex County, we hold an Aging Out conference each year, which is attended by between 100 and 150 children and young adults. Incredibly, we've been holding these conferences for 10 years. This is a wonderful opportunity for attendees to learn about options and resources available to them as they prepare to age out of the foster care system. Workshops cover everything from budgeting and finances to job opportunities to college readiness. There are roughly 40 exhibitors. To quote Judge Floria, who helped devise the program, "This program fills a critical gap for kids who might otherwise believe that society stops caring about them once they start to age out of the foster care system." Not in New Jersey. We don't stop caring. Yet there is still much more work and improvements needed in these areas, such as education stability for removed children, increased visitation for parents with their children. We know that increased visitation usually can only help further the goal of reunification. This is something that's near and dear, and I'm serving on committees. We're doing a lot of work in Essex County. We know there are limited resources. It's just a fact of life. And we also know, and my psychologist friend that I'm referring to tells us that the visitation is important, but parents need to do things with their children that are parent-related, whether it's reading to them or putting them to sleep or bathing them or eating a meal, as opposed to an hour here or there. And we are working on places where that can occur, time it can occur, how it can be structured. It's really going to be groundbreaking when we get there, and a lot of people, way before me, have done so much work on this and deserve so much credit for where we are, and we've got a little bit more further to go, I think, Mr. Sims, and we'll get there. We're also working and spending time on specialized issues, specialized services for people with mental health illnesses. They have to be, the services have to be tailored to people with specialized needs. And we have to do a better job with that, perhaps, as well as housing and employment opportunities. Many of us are committed to finding solutions to these and other issues. Our work's not done. So, in conclusion, I want to thank you for allowing me to speak today. I want to thank the parents who have been reunited. You are the heroes. We can talk about it. You've done it. You inspire us. We do work day in and day out, and if it wasn't for these successes, it'd be a lot harder. Your work will benefit your children for the rest of their lives. I look forward to some of the discussions and the speakers, and again, it's a real honor and privilege to be here. Thank you very much.